Get ready with a girl who's not a morning person. In the 90s, there were no cell phones for kids. We didn't have phones, we didn't have tablets, there was no iPhone, there was nothing. We were outside. Me and my older sister Megan were always outside. I think I had to be fourth grade, maybe third grade. During the summer, we would find all the change we can find around the house. We'd find dollars, we'd find quarters, nickels, all the money we can find. And we would hop on our bikes, ride maybe 5 or 6 miles. It seemed like that as a kid. As a kid, things are further than they actually are. It could have been like 20 miles, but in reality, it was like probably half a mile. Definitely wasn't half a mile. Back to the point. We get on our bikes, ride to this like amusement park. I want to say it was called Camelot Park in Bakersfield. If you're from Bakersfield, you know. There was go-karts there. It was a huge arcade. They served food and snacks, and so we would save up all of our money, go there, play all the games, and with the tickets, we'd be so excited and we just buy toys. I cannot tell you how many times we did that. In fact, we'd have cousins come over and stay the night and hang out. We would all be on bikes. And sometimes it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough bikes per child. So we'd be on handlebars, we'd be in skates, finding all this change, riding the Camelot Park. And it wasn't a huge park. It was just a glorified arcade. And we just play video games and we play games and win the prizes. And we'd be so excited for these toys. At the time, I don't know where my mom was. I don't know. I was too busy outside. I think she might have been at work. There was a couple of times my grandpa would tell my mom and tell my dad that he saw all of us riding down the street, going to Camelot Park. And there were a couple of times where we'd be out walking or riding bikes, and my grandma, living up the street, would see us, tell us to get in her car, and drive us home. Needless to say, we were always outside in the summer, and it was fun. Given the fact that it's Bakersfield, it was probably like 100+ degrees. We had no business being outside, but we were outside and it was fun. This is a honor to my best friend, my very first best friend, my older sister Megan. As kids, she was my ride or die. We did everything together. It was always Megan and Lisa. Going to family events, it was Megan and Lisa. Me and my older sister were thick as thieves. I made enemies with so-called friends who didn't like my sister. I made enemies with popular girls because of my sister. I don't play about my older sister. She is my first love. 2.5 years ago, she trusted her most important thing in her life with me, her daughter, my niece. She entrusted me to raise her. I will be forever in her debt because of that. I love this little girl as if she was my own. And it's so amazing to see her and my daughter interact with one another. I'm so glad that my daughter has a close relationship as I had with my older sister. And for that, I will say, Megan, I love you. Today is for you. I think about you multiple times a day. Happy birthday. Here's the finished look.